Hi, if you've been to my channel before, thank you for returning, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Samantha. I have a 2-year-old toddler, and I am now 37 weeks pregnant. I'll be a little over 37 weeks pregnant when you see this. And I've just been documenting towards the end of mainly the third trimester of my pregnancy when I've had issues with C. diff, placenta previa, all kinds of other things. If you're curious, you can look in the last videos. This week I am still having the back pain, and it happens a lot when I'm sitting down, especially if I'm driving or riding passenger, and then I'm sitting down for a long period of time, and then trying to get out of the car and walk is absolutely miserable. And it's also just hard to go from sitting on the couch to standing up to walking to whatever. It's just very painful. Also, if I look a little off or tired in this video, it's because I was up all night off and on with contractions. I actually just got back from getting monitored. They are pretty frequent and pretty painful, and they showed up on the monitor. Baby girl is doing fine, but they did not want me to go to labor and delivery because my cervix was not changed. I will talk about how far I am dilated in a little farther in the video though. I'm still very itchy, and it's gotten worse. The bumps have gotten worse. They've spread down my arms to my hands. They've spread all the way down to my feet. It's all over my belly. It's starting to happen on my chest. And I did talk to the doctor at my last appointment on Monday, and she did say that she thought it was a PUPPS rash and that it was not harmful to me. It was not harmful to the baby. She offered a steroid cream. I didn't really feel comfortable taking it, and that it should go away, shortly after delivery. It's a hormonal thing apparently, and it happens to some pregnant women. So at least there is a explanation for my itchiness and all of my bumps, and at least it is nothing that's going to be harmful to me or to the baby. And going back to the cervix and dilation, I am dilated to a 1 when she checked me at my last appointment. She has to be very careful with checks, and also she did warn me to watch for bleeding after checks because of the low-lying placenta, but I didn't really decline it just because I would like to know how far dilated I am, if any, especially if I were to, like I had to today. I went in for contractions, and then she could check and saw that I was just barely dilated more than a centimeter. So I really wasn't progressing at all. The contractions aren't doing anything. They're just painful and exhausting. I was up most of the night. They were even waking me up at one point. So they're just kind of there. They're painful, and I just kind of have to deal with them. She said to watch for bleeding from the placenta, the low-lying placenta, and she also said to watch for increased pain. And if that were the case, then I come back in. So I feel like I'm going to be doing this a lot until she is born. The doctor did say that if I was 39 weeks today, she would just do the C-section right now, but sadly I am only 37 weeks. I am still very swollen. I think I'm probably about as swollen as I was last week. My blood pressure is still great, so that's good. We're really not worried about preeclampsia or anything. It's just me being swollen. It's just the end of pregnancy thing, I think. It's just really good that my blood pressure is still at its normal range. It was 106 over 60 something, I believe, so it's still in its normal range. I usually don't have too high of blood pressure. During my last pregnancy, towards the end, I did get higher blood pressure, and they would check me every week for protein. I am having little bouts of nausea. Throughout the day, it'll be, I think it's during the contractions too, I'll feel nauseous, or if I eat too much, or if I don't eat enough. If I'm too tired, just little bouts of nausea, kind of starting to remind me of the first trimester a little bit, but luckily we're almost to the end, so I don't have to deal with the nausea too much longer. I am also so tired that I can hardly keep my eyes open. I don't know if it's just because I'm not sleeping well at night, especially after last night with the contractions. I am just so wiped out today. Right now, my toddler is napping, so that is good. I'm getting a little bit of a break. And I know after I film this video, I'm probably going to lay on the couch for a little while just because I am so tired. I could hardly do anything that day. I could do like one big project or a couple, cleaning projects, and by the end of it, I am just wiped out. So I am just very tired. Another reason I ended up going in today is because I was having a lot of C-section scar pain. For those that don't know, I have had a C-section in the past with my son. He ended up being a C-section. And where that scar is, it's very painful. When I contract, it kind of feels pulling and kind of like a sharp, like stabby pain a little bit. And so I was a little bit concerned about that. The nurse reassured me that everything should be fine and that uterine rupture really only happens in more active labor. I wasn't too sure if that is completely true because I did research and it can show that your scar from the inside, can start to thin out during pregnancy, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. I do have an appointment on Monday and an ultrasound scan to check the placenta to see if it's moved up or not, and that will be the final placenta scan, and that will be, what we go off of. And when we do have the placenta scan, I am hoping to ask the tech about my scar and if it is thinning at all, if they notice that it's thinning. And if it is, then, maybe make sure that I do a C-section even if the placenta has moved up, and if it's not thinning, then I feel a little bit more comfortable about a VBAC if the placenta has moved up. But we'll just have to see. The last time we checked, it was only a centimeter away, I believe, from the cervix, so it is still way too low for them to let me try for a VBAC. So I'm hoping that it has moved a couple of centimeters at least, because then I believe if it's like between 2 or 3 centimeters that she may let me try for a VBAC. So that is good. Along with the contractions and the incision pain, I am having a lot of like menstrual period like cramps, very low, very crampy. Even when I'm not contracting, it's like a constant, it feels like I'm on my period. So, and it's been like this for a good 48 hours where it's like the constant cramping. So I'm hoping that means that I'll have her soon. I don't know. I know my doctor and my nurse is like, I really don't think you're making it to your C-section date. So I'm just hoping that that means that she'll be here soon. I don't know. I'm just very over, I think, this whole pregnancy. I'm just so tired. And I'm just so ready for her to be here. I know that it's still a little bit early. Like, it would be best if she were in there until probably closer to 39 weeks. So I'm willing to wait that long, but it's just, we're all very excited to meet her, and I'm just tired of being in pain and tired of being tired. Those that don't know, I've been dealing with recovery after my C. diff episode that had lasted a couple of months. I now have what they think is IBS and a little bit of damage from the C. diff that we're trying to heal. So I am on a diet, a special diet, but however, on this special diet now I am starting to gain more weight. So that's really exciting because I had lost weight for a while and then plateaued, and now I'm actually being able to gain weight and be energized a little bit more because I'm able to get some calories in me. So that's really good. A very discouraging thing that happened is that I had my Group B strep test. I had that done on Monday, and I got the results on Tuesday, I believe, and I am Group B strep positive. Now, for a normal woman, this really wouldn't be too much of an issue. However, the problem is that being in recovery from C. diff, I am at a much higher risk of getting C. diff again now that I'm going to have to be on the IV antibiotics if my water were to break or I have a vaginal birth. I don't believe I have to have them if I make it to my scheduled C-section. I could be wrong, but I think if my water is intact and I really don't have any type of progressive labor, I don't believe I have to have the antibiotics during the C-section. But if my water were to break or I do the VBAC or whatever happens, I am going to have the antibiotics. And that's been really scary because the antibiotics that I would be put on, I most likely will not be able to nurse on them. And that's something that's very important to me. I have nursed my toddler for over 2 years now. He is still nursing. He did end up taking a little bit of a break when I was on antibiotics for my C. diff before, but he went right back to nursing after. But if I get C. diff right after giving birth and I'm not able to nurse right after giving birth, then that's just going to kind of mess that up and I won't be able to nurse her at all. So I've been a little depressed about that. I'm really, really hoping that it doesn't cause a relapse C. diff episode and that my body is going to be strong enough to not get C. diff, and then hopefully the insides will just continue to heal and I'll be able to go to more of a normal diet soon, because especially with all the holidays that have kind of come and gone and I've had to be on, certain diets and just not being hungry or not being able to keep food in, it's really frustrating. On a better note, we ended up buying all of the baby stuff that we wanted to buy last weekend. We got all of her clothes now up until like 9 months, I believe. We got the double stroller. We actually ended up getting it on a really good sale. We got all the stuff we need. We're totally ready for her now. So hopefully she will come very soon. I also did quite a bit of freezer meals. I did some freezer breakfasts, lunches, dinners, snacks. I believe I froze some snacks. I did, for like breakfast, I did freezer sandwiches, breakfast burritos. For lunches, I did a bunch of different kind of sandwiches, mac and cheese, all kinds of stuff like that. For dinners, I did like lasagna and a bunch of different crock pot dump recipes. So that was kind of fun. It was absolutely exhausting though. And the sad part is most of that I cannot eat, so it is mostly just for my fiance and my toddler. I did freeze some things that I am able to eat, like a pancake. I can have pancakes, I just can't put anything on it. I can have a little bit of peanut butter on it, so I did freeze some pancakes. I froze some baked potatoes because I can have baked potatoes with a little bit of salt. I froze just egg breakfast sandwiches and just egg burritos, so basically just scrambled eggs in a tortilla and a little egg patty on an English muffin. So those are some things that I'm able to have that are frozen. Most of my stuff will end up being like oatmeal or hummus on bread or stuff like that. I need to get some more cans of tuna, but otherwise we're pretty well stocked up on food. We did a big grocery and household stock up. We got a ton of like toilet paper, paper towels, all kinds of stuff that we needed for around the house, just so that none of us will have to leave for a little bit after the baby is born and we can all just kind of recuperate and bond and not focus on needing to run out and go grocery shopping. So that's good. So basically that's it. We're just waiting until Monday for the final placenta scan, and then I will talk to the tech about maybe looking at my incision site or my scar site to see if it's thinning at all. And then we'll know if we're waiting for a VBAC or if I am going to be getting a C-section, a repeat C-section. I have kind of accepted either one, I guess. I want her here and I want us both to be healthy. I guess I'm really nervous either way, especially with the bleeding and stuff. I'm just a little nervous, but I think it'll go okay. And I will throw in a 37-week belly shot here. All right, from the front, from the side, from the other side, with the shirt up, from the front, from the side, from the other side. Yep, that's the 37-week belly now. And that was my 37-week belly. It is huge. Thank you for watching this far if you did. And if you like what you saw, please subscribe. Please leave a comment if you have anything you would like to say or ask. I can get back to you on that. Otherwise, thank you so much. Bye.